Welcome to On the Hill Podcast.
All right, we're live.
Back on the hill.
Yes, back on the hill.
And today we got a special guest, friend, brother, roommate, well, ex-roommate. Got Marcus Suave.
Hey, happy to be here.
It's
I'm
actually
honored.
Bianchi, but
I say, is your last name Suave?
No, it's Bianchi, not Bianchi. It's Bianchi.
Like
yeah.
any relation to the bicycle manufacturer? Bianchi?
No, every time I Google my last name, I see that too. It's just no relation.
do you ride bikes?
No, I'm not a biker.
I say, man, you might want to do 23andMe, and you might have some relation to that family, man.
I've always thought about doing like little, hereditary. I've always heard I'm like Italian and German, but I don't really know my true.
Yeah, with the
I mean,
bike.
he's got the gold watch and the gold chain on.
OG, man.
Well,
I mean, what I'm trying to say is like the Bianchi brand. That's like an Italian brand bicycle. You might be like royalty in England or Italy, brother.
I might be trying to cash some checks.
I know. Get into that family, dude.
We'll see.
Anyway, this is Marcus Bianchi. I mean, we've known each other since...
How'd you guys meet is the question. I can remember. Right. Can I kind of backtrack?
Oh, man. Yeah, tell us your side of it.
Well, first of all, I didn't mean to jump right in, but we dropped you off as a freshman at the dorm. What was the name of that dorm?
Rhodes.
We're on the 17th floor.
17 out of 18 floors.
Don't jump too fast.
Right.
So anyway, we dropped this cat off, my son off, Eric. He's a freshman at VCU, and be aware of alcohol and drugs, all this kind of stuff. But anyway, within like 2 minutes, your room was full of a bunch of people to help you move in, and that's how that's what I remember. But go ahead after that.
Yeah, I think you were probably there that first day.
Yeah,
it was everybody.
I was definitely there.
So I remember we moved in. This was 2014.
August, I think late August, right? 2014?
Yeah. Late August 2014.
Yeah.
And we were on the 17th floor out of 18 floors. So Rhodes goes male, female, all the way up. So all the odd numbers were boys' floors, even numbers were girls' floors. And we were on the 17th floor all the way up. The elevator never worked, right?
Yep.
So a lot of
there
times
was only 2 elevators for the entire building, and half the time one of them was out.
Yeah. So we were either stuck on the elevator or using the stairs half the time. And that first day, we were all helping each other move in. I was on the opposite side of the dorm from you. And then eventually I moved in with Mike, one of our other friends.
Yeah.
And we were basically neighbors after that.
Yeah, it was one of the floors where it's communal style. It's not like the little apartment suites. So you shared the bathroom for the floor. And immediately everyone was so communal. Everyone had their doors open. Everyone was like, hey, I'll help you move. And hey, I'm Marcus, I'm Eric. So it just felt so open and so like, this is exactly where I wanted to be as a, 18-year-old. That's where I loved it immediately.
It's probably 35 guys instantly were friends at once.
Yeah. The entire year, just
then
open doors, running around.
Turned into chaos.
Yeah.
Pretty fast.
18-year-olds on the loose. You could imagine.
And ultimately turned into like a lifelong friendship, though.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So do you guys remember the first instant you met? Like when your eyes,
our eyes met.
When your eyes met.
Nah, I can't.
No, let's be real. Not like that, but let's
I'm
say.
Married.
Now let's say all right. So you guys meet, that first day.
Right.
But then, and it was kind of like, everybody feeling each other out, this kind of stuff. But then there had to be a moment when you guys knew y'all were friends. How about?
So actually, I could actually go in that. Eric, so the hall was split like an H, essentially. The long parts were the rooms. The middle part was the elevator. And Eric had a roommate, and he would always come to our side and hang out with all of the people on our side. And I felt like that's when I knew Eric was like one of the homies. He would always come over and hang out. And then he eventually moved onto our side of the floor. And then from there, it was just like,
because what happened of the H, there was a side where we would go out and play football. We'd be playing Madden or GTA, just
being very social, hanging out, being boys, just 18-year-olds,
Then the other side of the hallway were all the druggies, and they were doing like acid and out
doing other things,
smoking whatever. Yeah, and I was like, I got to get out of this side.
So I got you. So the side you were on was a druggie hall, then you went to the other side to hang out.
Yep.
Yes.
So eventually, my roommate, I don't know.
Wouldn't say his name, no.
No, I'm not gonna say his
It's
name.
your roommate.
Yeah, snored a lot. I'll say that. And eventually, Mike's room opened up because his roommate got kicked out for. Well, that's ironic. He got kicked out for drugs on the sports side of the floor.
You and him should have switched.
Yeah, we needed to
That'd been
switch.
perfect.
Where was he from?
Oh, I don't remember. I just remember he was making
Yeah.
he was making DMT in a college dorm.
So one day he came down the hallway, like, what's that show called?
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. And he had science goggles on and a beaker in his hand, yelling, "This is not a drill."
Get out the
And
way.
was
This is
running
not
to
a
the
drill.
bathroom. Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, this is not a drill." And there's smoke everywhere, and it smelled like burnt chemicals for like 2 weeks. So whatever he was making went bad.
Yeah.
And that's when he got kicked out.
That's when he got kicked out. It's just like it was so obvious. Like you're literally cooking DMT in a college residential dorm with a RA on the floor who lives with you, and it's like he walks around. You know what I mean? He obviously knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But he was,
People don't take it seriously.
dude, I can't remember. I'm not sure if it's in Virginia, but he was from, it's like a peninsula or an island. And all these guys have like the same accent. They're all
Oh, yeah,
fishermen.
Chickatee.
Chickatee.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
it was Chincoteague on the
From
eastern shore.
Yep.
That's right.
Exactly where he was
That's
from.
right.
Wow.
And him and his friend would come up, and his friend looked like he was like 45 years old. He was 18.
Yeah.
The master blender, man, like the brew master.
He would always wear like this purple bandana and like
And a wife beater.
Yes. Yes.
We're like, "Is this your dad or something?" He's like, "No, dude,
No, it's my friend. I'm like, is this your older brother? Like, what's going on here?
He's like 30 years old, a senior in high school or some.
Yeah, he was 18.
Scary.
Holy smokes!
But yeah, that's how Eric and I met. He converted over to our side of the floor and moved in with Mike, and then it just popped off from there. And then we
Right.
basically lived together every year after that. Mm-hmm. And then senior year, I moved out of the apartment that they were in, but I essentially came over every single day and hung out with them. So I felt like I lived there too.
That's good. Yeah. So, where'd you grow up, Marcus?
So I'm born and raised out of Virginia Beach. I've lived in Virginia my entire life. I lived in Virginia Beach till I was 18 years old. I love Virginia Beach.
The 757.
Shout out 75.
Represent.
But yeah, I lived there ever since I was 18 years old. And then I toured a couple colleges in Virginia. I knew I was wanting to stay in Virginia. It's just, it's what I knew. So toured a couple colleges. I toured VCU originally, and it was just beautiful. The cityscape, I toured JMU and I liked it, but it was too closed off. I actually got a scholarship from Hampton University for my race, but no big deal.
Hey.
Yeah, I had a
Big E had a
minority scholarship.
That's
yeah.
exactly what I got
At
from
VSU.
State.
I got from that from
Virginia
that.
State.
I got that from Hampton University. So I toured there, and I just really wasn't feeling it. And I toured VCU. But VCU was the last school I toured, and I absolutely fell in love with it. So I've been in Richmond for a couple of years,
And
and
I
I
lived there for a while too.
yeah, I lived in Richmond for quite a while, and I finally moved out of Richmond, and I live in a little area outside of Richmond now. So I'm kind of branching out slowly.
We'll get there.
Yeah, slowly.
Well, okay. Well, dang. You got any brothers or sisters?
Oh man, my family is
He's got
very big. Yeah.
Extended family.
I have 2 younger sisters, a younger brother, and 2 older sisters. I have a very big family.
You Catholic?
No.
Well, I mean, some Catholic families are just known for being large.
Yeah.
Large families.
Just a lot of.
Just from Virginia Beach, that's all.
Yeah, I'm not like that's my half sister or like brother.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't believe in that.
Right, right.
That's my brother or sister. But I have 2 sisters with the same mom but different dads, and then I have my 2 little sisters and my younger brother with the same dad, but they all have the same mom. But like that's my stepmom.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
that's cool. No, I'm
Yeah.
down with that. Yeah, because my family, I have 2 brothers, a stepsister, and a stepbrother.
Right. Yeah.
And we're all family. So
Right.
Yeah, family's family.
Family's family. Yeah. She's my stepmom, but I call her my mom. She's been in my life since I was 7 years old. Like that's my mom.
Yeah.
Same with me and my stepdad. Now, my stepmother, she's like a witch. You ever seen like the Wizard of Oz?
I have. Yeah.
The Wicked Witch of the West or something like that.
Is that her?
She made her look like the good witch.
Oh man, not the good one.
No, my stepmother made the Wicked Witch look nice.
Yeah. Damn, that's harsh.
Yeah,
But true.
I remember as a younger kid,
And the Wicked Witch was better looking. A lot better looking.
I remember as I was younger, it was hard with me and my stepmom because it's just like at the time I was like, you're not my mom. Like you're not gonna be the one to come in here and tell me what to do. But now that I'm older, I realized this a long time ago, but it's just, she came in my life and was going to step into that role. And, as a single dad with a 7-year-old, she really stepped in and became my mom. And that's been like my day one supporter. Like I love her. So
That's great.
My stepmom like is my mom. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
yeah.
And growing up, your dad had his own company?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So when I was younger, my dad made he's worked in like
Or no, you just helped him out.
I helped him out. Yeah, okay. So he worked in like the government system. He was one of the landscapers for the public schools. Like he cuts the grass out there. So he made like a little side business called Dad and Lad, and we cut like home properties. We cut commercial properties, and I was the original lad. But now my younger brother, Nico, he's the new lad.
He's following up.
Yeah, he's following in my footsteps. So
that's pretty cool. I mean, at least he didn't name it Dad and Marcus. And
I couldn't take that responsibility. Definitely.
What I mean
because
is,
then Nico couldn't have jumped in.
Right,
Yeah,
Nico
my brother
could have
Nico.
been the lad. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
making
Dan Lad's still killing it. Yeah.
That's awesome. And Nico is 13?
I think he's going to be turning 14 in December. It's either 14 or 15, and I'm scared. He's going to start driving soon, and I'm tripping out. Once he starts driving me around, I'm going to freak out.
That's awesome.
I've just seen him grow up. I babysitted him when he was little. It's kind of wild now.
Yeah, it's wild to watch. But I mean, I wouldn't make fun of your dad and you. And your dad. I just say if he called it Dad and Marcus, then Nico couldn't have been.
Yeah,
he would have to change the name.
I'm working forever.
So he had like a vision, man, like Dad and Lad.
Yeah, he knew.
He
knew what was up.
Snatched the other kid, and
He's like, yeah. Once Marcus moves out, I'll pull the other kid for child labor.
Don't worry about the child labor laws. We're just kicking this thing, man.
Nico gets fair appropriate amount.
He's like, you're 16, right? You're 16, right? Or whatever the hell the age is. And Nico's, that's his name, right?
Nico, yeah.
I am 16 or 17, whatever the hell, how old are you?
I don't know what it is.
It's a family business, so
21.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I learned that from him, so
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I was thinking once we were at VCU, just some stories were popping up in my head. I remember, like I said, it was 16, 17, and 18. So 16 and 18 were both girls' floors. So we were always causing problems. Our RA, I mean, he hated us by the end of the year.
He hated us because he always had to deal with us getting in trouble.
Yeah.
As us now, we can see like why he hated us, obviously. Like,
yeah. And then as the year went on, other floors were blaming us for stuff and other stuff was happening. So we were like, okay, that's fine. So we took every single roll of toilet paper we could find and completely TP'd, like beyond what you could imagine. Like we had ceiling tiles, so we hung toilet paper from every notch of every ceiling tile up and down both hallways. It's, I don't know, at least 20 rooms.
It was war.
And you couldn't see through the hallway. So we did it one night and we woke up in the morning and we ran to our RA and was like, one of the floors did this to us. So both the 16th and 18th floor got blamed. The girls got blamed for us or for TPing our floor, and they got put on like probation. They had meetings with the head, like the RA downstairs. They had all this like, what's it called when you have to go to sleep at a certain time?
Curfew.
Yeah, they had curfew, and they had to go. Then they made them come up and clean the floor.
Yeah,
and we're all sitting there like, yeah.
So were they rebelling against it? Like we didn't do this, or they just?
Yeah. I mean, of course, yeah, they were like, yeah, we didn't do this, but I mean, they had no proof, so
so no cameras on the.
No cameras.
There's no cameras in there.
They were smart. They would just put cameras up.
You would think.
Yeah,
all the money they got.
No, truly, but yeah, no, there were no cameras in there. It was just RA's word, witnesses' words.
Yeah,
because it is what it is.
I mean, because we were loud. We'd like skateboard in the hallway and throw football and whatever. So they would always complain and get us in trouble. So that's how we got them back.
Right.
That was smart.
Yeah, there was nothing, and we didn't do anything bad. It all got recycled and.
We had friends on those floors too, by the way. So it's not like
we knew
it all worked
and
out.
they knew we did it. That was the fun part.
Yeah, it all worked out.
Dang.
And then through VCU, we both met my current wife, and you're engaged now. Should we talk about that?
Yeah.
All right, so tell us about when you met, because I remember you were there when I met Frankie, my wife.
Yes.
Our freshman year of college.
I remember we were in your room talking about what you were looking for in a future wife, and then a few weeks later you were like, yeah, I met this girl Frankie, and I was like, wow, this is wild.
Yeah. I remember telling him, I was like,
It was a late night talk.
yeah, it was like, I was like, yeah, I want a girl who's, down to earth, likes going outside, likes the outdoors.
Athletic, personable, just a good time. And then a few weeks later, he was like, yeah, this is Frankie. And we hung out in the park, and yeah, it was just great
What
ever
about
since.
the one thing you said you wanted, the 5'5", 255? That fell apart. She's a little bit smaller than that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And she's
255. Good God. Half of that.
But and she's a little bit taller than that. So, but anyway, I'm just kidding. No,
5'5",
nothing against
255.
5'5", 255. I mean, that's what some people like.
Yeah. Everybody needs love.
That was a P-Town favorite.
Love is love.
5'5", 255.
But I met Frankie, and Marcus was the first person I told. I was like, yep. I think I found the one.
Yeah,
and everyone
awesome.
else was like, there's no way. Like, you're only a freshman in college. You can't meet a girl this early, this and that. And then that's when I became like the dad of the floor, because I was the first one to be in a
relationship.
serious relationship.
Yeah.
So Frankie grew up with us too. I mean, she knew Marcus as long as she's known me.
I've
so.
literally known you, maybe 6 months or whatever. How long? Much longer than her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we met in February, so that was just about that. And then you met Katie. I don't even know what year that was.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. Should have studied for this.
I don't know what year it was now. I mean, we've been together for 5 years now. It's 2018. I think somewhere.
So senior year, 2018?
Yeah, somewhere around there. But we met through work, actually. We never even met on campus until we met through work, which is the wildest thing.
Working at VS.
Yeah, I didn't know if I could say it or not, but yeah.
You can say where you worked.
Yeah, so I worked at Victoria's Secret as a male, and that was wild times.
Hold up. That's like a dream job for me.
See, I hear that a lot, and I'm just like, nah, man, it's just...
So let me ask, all right. So I knew you worked
Let's hear
there.
it. Yeah, let's hear it.
No, hell no. I'm not. Hey, look, so you're standing there as a dude and a chick walks in, and do you go, hey, can I help you find something? Or
Yeah, absolutely. I've always been like, hey, can I help you find something? Blah, blah, what are you looking for? And I've had women flat out go to my face and say, no, I'd rather have a woman help me. And it's just, okay, that's fine. We have plenty of women here that are
yeah,
help
that's
you,
fine.
you know
But I mean, so let's say I'm, a female's looking to buy, a bra, and then like.
See, that's like the reaction I get.
No, hell no. I'm thinking about like
I know
how
what he's thinking
I'm
about.
picturing myself there. So anyway, so then she says, "Hey, what is because a lot of times women can't." Victoria's Secret became big because they made quality bras that fit well.
Correct.
Right.
So then they're like, "Hey, I'm actually 36C. Do you think I need to go to a D?" And then you're kind of like looking at her breasts, and then
So I mean, there's kind of specific conversations and things I learned while I was working there. We have a person that works in the fitting room, so I would always refer her. I'd be like, hey, we have a bra fit expert that can help you with any measurements or any fittings that you need.
Gotcha. Yeah.
If you need any styling questions, we have stylists here that can help you. If you need me to show you something, of course I can help you with that. I have had women in there that have been more on the wild side or more on the intoxicated side and come in and ask me specifically what I thought was
the right size.
sexy or what a guy would like. I'm going on a date tonight with this guy. What do you think would look good?
Right. That makes sense. Yeah.
I'm just trying to do my job. Of course, I just like, I think that's nice, but
Get that commission.
Well, you can't talk now because your wife, your fiance is going to watch this, but we know
she worked there too. That's
so
where I met her. So
yeah, she knows. So now one reason I kind of went into this was a guy that I was a guy I used to work with, Will Mayer. He was before becoming a cop. This guy's a giant. I mean, he's like 6'9".
Jesus,
huge guy.
get a rebound.
So we went to a Christmas party at another. We were all cops. This is years ago. And then Shelly walks in. And he was all drunked up. So all the members of the SWAT team were there. And he's like, "You're a 36D." And we're like, "What's up, bro? What the fuck? What's the problem?
What's going on, bro?"
And Shelly's like, "Yeah, actually, you're right." He was impressed, And then he goes, "Well, I used to work at Victoria's Secret."
No shit.
Bingo.
Yeah. I don't know if I could guess right on the dot, but I feel like I could be close.
So then he started guessing all the girls. And he was right pretty much 99% of the time.
I feel like I could get within pretty close, to be honest. I saw,
You've seen it all, bro.
Yeah.
Seen plenty of.
So did
bras.
anybody ever come in and you're like, never mind. Go ahead.
So after you worked
Like,
at,
hang on. So you're like, this ain't the store for you type thing? Like maybe we don't have your size. Like
Nah, that
maybe
ain't
you need the big and tall.
Nah, that ain't for me.
The big and tall
Whatever
shots.
they wanted and needed to buy, I'd show them where it is. If it didn't fit or if it didn't work out, that's on them. You know what I mean?
is this true? Is Victoria's Secret, was it started by a guy in Ohio?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw that the other day and I was like, it's kind of ironic.
That's
Victoria's
whatever,
Secret.
Yeah, whatever his name is. Yeah.
It was a story behind
They
it.
made
I
a
can't
documentary
remember.
about it on Hulu. That's pretty wild.
Oh, there's a documentary?
Yeah.
Oh, well, here we go.
So
didn't
yeah, I mean,
even know
how
that.
did how did they get his name? Victoria's Secret.
I forgot what it was. I think he was just trying to make a store for like, women, and I don't remember what the whole thing was. There's a documentary on it. On Hulu
I didn't know
that
if you
really
had to
goes
take like
into
an orientation class.
No. I think they're honestly trying to get away from.
Hey, JC,
the
look it up for me.
I think
we don't have a guy.
I think they're trying to actually get away from the original brand, and they're trying to make it a lot more like inclusive and the every woman's brand, because they got a lot of heckling from people talking about how the models and stuff were not body inclusive and they weren't like the everyday women standards and things like that. So they're trying to be a lot more inclusive now, especially with the competition from like Rihanna and stuff. They're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Cool. All
A lot
right.
of people are doing that too.
Yeah.
Trying to be more inclusive to everybody. And that's where,
I'm
the whole
sorry.
thing. You met Katie.
Yeah, no.
You met Katie at Victoria's Secret.
I sure did. Yeah, no, I met her there. We were talking. We were both in Greek life at VCU, and we kind of connected on that.
What was your fraternity? You don't have to say it. Never mind.
Yeah, it was. It was a fun time. It was a good time. I learned lots of things. But she was in a sorority, I was in a fraternity. We kind of just hit it off. We went on a couple dates.
And then I remember. I mean, again, I've known Katie as long as you've known her.
Basically, yeah, I brought her around pretty quick. I was like, these are my boys.
Yeah. And then I remember. I guess you guys didn't move in senior year. You guys moved in after
Moved in
college.
after that, yeah, because I lived with one of my fraternity brothers senior year, and we were close, of course, but like not as close as we were and stuff. So I would always come to your apartment senior year, and then
And
actually,
I just remember,
her and I. After that, I lived with two of my female friends that I worked with at the time, and then after that lease ended, and then I moved in with Kate, and I moved in together.
That's
All
right.
right, time out. This guy's like living my dream life right here. All right, so man, he worked at Victoria's Secret, right? Because you're
Yeah.
single. I mean, this is me as a kid, a young man.
Yeah.
So, and then you live with two chicks like Three's Company. You probably don't remember that show. You probably weren't even born yet.
Nah.
But yeah, the guy lived with two, Suzanne Summers and another actress. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, one of them was like one of my best friends. I met her through at VS, and we were just super tight. She's like very much like a tomboy, like likes to go camping. Like she's kind of one of the dudes. So we were really tight. And then we had like a third who was like, the third roommate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Help pay the rent. Yeah.
no, yeah, took a room up. So that was that. And then Katie and I at that point were hanging out all the time. We were.
What did she think about you living with two other chicks?
I mean, she was fine with it. She knew
The girls.
she knew the girls, yeah. And we actually all worked literally together. We all worked at VS together at the time. So, I mean, she knew, she was cool with it. But yeah, we were hanging out a lot at that time. She was coming to my house for a weekend. I was going to her house for a weekend, things like that. And then we were just like,
Then it got serious.
might as well, you want to just like move in together? Like we're hanging out all the time anyways. So,
And I remember all the times you guys have moved, I've helped you.
you sure
So
have. You're a king.
I remember all your times.
Yeah.
So you lived in lived in Richmond, then you lived outside of Richmond to that apartment, then you moved into the house you're in now.
Yep.
Closer to us, closer to the hill.
Closer to the hill, yeah.
Yeah.
Not too far out anymore.
The beacon on the hill.
Right in
man.
Chester.
I love it.
Yeah, so my kids are like, we'll never come back to Chester. Well, you didn't say that so much. But,
No,
but my
I was always a
daughter.
homebody. Megan was like, I'm not coming back.
Yeah, I never moved back to Chester, and then she lives 5 minutes
It
away.
was really close, yeah.
Yeah, so that's which we like. So
Yeah.
Can't get out, dude. It's a trap.
the hill traps you, man.
Oh, man.
You might be having to move here now too. So
Yeah, Katie and I are trying to talk about where we want to
what are y'all
go
thinking
next.
about?
What's the next move? We're kind of talking about Virginia Beach a little bit. Just
Oh man, You're breaking the tradition, man.
Hey, man, I'm sorry. That's where my family is.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
You know, we just want to be close to family, and
Makes sense.
We're just talking about things, but yeah, that might be the move.
Yeah.
And what about her family?
Her family lives in Northern Virginia right now, but they're gonna move soon, and they don't know where they're gonna move. But I think they're gonna move out of state most likely and just retire and enjoy their time.
Gotcha.
So while my parents are at least in Virginia, we think we're gonna live in Virginia for a little bit longer and be close to family, and then after that, who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big push before you guys. I'm trying to think about this for a minute. What year? But anyway, it doesn't matter. It was this big thing about everybody should live farthest away from home, and it was like if you work for a company, they would move you to another state. And
We said state police was like that too, right?
yeah, so if you went to the state police academy, they had to put you somewhere when you've graduated in another part of the state. You know, you couldn't work near your hometown, and people have found out over the years that it's nice to be around family because when things happen, ultimately all you've got is family. So
You need that support system.
Yeah, if you're a young family with a child and you live in Colorado or something, but you're from Virginia, I mean you're pretty much out of touch. You know,
Right. You just have to trust other people that you don't really know that well.
Yeah, so the push, I mean, to us, there's nothing more important than being close to family. But I mean, that doesn't mean that's for you. But at one time, that was a push by businesses and it just didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. I remember at one point I was like, I've been born and raised in Virginia, and I was like, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to do my own thing. And I've just been in Virginia ever since. And I love it, though. I truly love it. I love exploring the state. I feel like you can be in a city, like a downtown Richmond area. You can be at the beach. You can be in the mountains, and you can still be in Virginia at the same time. So
Has a lot to offer.
Everything's right here.
yeah, it has a lot to offer for sure. DC's, right there. So
you graduated VCU with a degree in,
I graduated with a bachelor's in psychology and a bachelor's in criminal justice.
and then
So I dual degreed, and then I kind of went the psychology route.
yep. And I remember right before COVID hit, you had a job lined up.
Yeah, I had
through a school system.
I had a job to work in a school in a city in Virginia, and I was going to be not a counselor per se, but I was going to be basically contracted through the public school to work with them and counsel kids and talk to them after school and kind of resource them to after school programs and things like that.
And then of course COVID hit.
Yeah,
And me being a teacher, I know school shut down, everything went virtual, and then they kind of
was like last one in, first one out.
Yeah, and you never got a call back, did you?
No, I talked to her and she said, we're going to let you know when school opens up and things happen like that. And then I never really received any information after that. So I went back to VS for a little bit, and I just was like, COVID hit me pretty hard that I felt like I was really ready to step into my career at that point. I was ready to use my degree, and then I feel like that got taken away from me. So then after COVID, I went back to VS for a little bit, and I was like, no, I really need to get back into that space, use my degree, do what I want to do. And that's kind of like where I am now.
Yeah. So now that's when you two kind of have the same position at the moment.
Sure
Same
do.
kind of job.
Yeah.
So what is your title? It's a bunch of letters.
So I'm registered as a qualified mental health professional with a specification for adults, like QMHPA.
That's the A.
That's the
It's
A,
adults.
right.
And then you're qualified health.
Yeah, well, I'm still in T. So what does that mean? I'm a trainee?
Trainee, yeah.
Yeah, man,
so
so-
you just don't have the hours to...
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. So
But you also have a whole other career behind you.
Right.
yeah, but I so
Once here.
yeah, well, we're gonna have a guy on to help. His name's McCulley, but he'll be on here soon. I guess in a few weeks, whatever. But his wife helped me get the job, that I'm in now.
Right, yeah.
And I won't say the company because
Right.
some huge brands. I don't think it matters if we say the name, but some companies you just don't want to put it out. There's like a small company,
Like
but
private
anyway,
companies, right?
yeah. But anyway, the point is, so in the state, you can be a licensed professional counselor, LPC. You got to have a master's. You got to have a certain amount of hours.
Yep.
You got to have a master's in counseling. You actually go to school for that, or you can get a master's degree in MSW, Master of Social
Work, yeah.
and then of course you can get your PhD. But those are the two options to be able to work and bill insurance companies and stuff, to be able to make a living out of being a therapist or whatever. But the QMHP, the Qualified Mental Health Professional, you can do that with a bachelor's, or you can have a master's and do it. It's just probably a less hours I'd have to take overall. But yeah, so we do kind of the same thing. Without saying the company, so you said you're the QMHP-A adult, and there's also a QMHP-C.
There's a QMHP-A, C, and T, correct, yeah.
What the hell is the T, dude? What?
The T is the trainee, that's what...
All right, but I mean, eventually you're going to be a...
yeah, so T is just like you haven't hit the specific amount of hours needed to require to be an A or a C. So you work with children, correct?
Children and adults.
Okay, yeah, so I mean, I feel like you can get either one, but I've only worked with adults specifically, so that's why I
didn't know if maybe there was, I should know all this, but I'm just kind of zoning along, man.
No, you're good.
You're a trainee still.
I'm a trainee. I've still got a lot to learn.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess what I was going to say was, so the QMH, because we kind of talked about this before, I think at Eric's wedding, and we were like, damn, we do the same thing. For a different we may even work for the same company. I don't even know, man.
Probably not. I haven't seen any.
He went on a cruise. So.
I haven't seen any of the meetings. So
yeah, dang.
He's like trying to switch.
Who do you work for again? How much you up? No, but I guess so. You work with adults, but did you have any opportunity to work with kids? Because you just said you're interested in kind of working with some kids and stuff.
I mean, my boss kept asking me to work with kids, and I felt like kids was going to be a lot more than I was willing to handle at the time. I felt like kids was. You're dealing with the family systems, you're dealing with the school systems, you're dealing with, them developing as kids into teenagers or teenagers into adults. And I was only really ready at the time to deal with adults and adult problems. And usually with adults, you only deal with most like their spouse or who they're living with or whatever like that. So
that's cool. Yeah, I was just curious.
I kind of just went that route.
So how long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it just about a year now. I kind of just hit a year. I got my annual review and then I got my hours in. So yeah,
you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, no, I honestly,
they kept you, so
I'm all right. I love what I do though. I mean, it's been a year and I'm still into it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you have any plans to get your masters and get your LPC?
I'm still on the fence about getting my master's. I think I'm going to be honest. I just feel like that's kind of the next step for me in mental health.
I mean, it's no rush. You're young, man.
Take your time. For sure. I think I kind of want to, see how I feel maybe for another 6 months or a year. Kind of, I have a lot going on. I'm engaged. We're going to buy a house soon. Yeah, I'm going back to school. It's just like another thing to do.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, when I say, I think,
What's your 5-year plan?
No,
I mean, now.
I think a lot of times you talk to people, and I'm 54, so I didn't get my master's until 20 years after, well, longer than that, 23 years after I had gotten my bachelor's. So you got time.
Yeah.
Yeah, time. That's one thing about, you want to get your education when you can, and that's same like with Eric. Say for example, he always wanted to do something mechanical, but he also had a musical talent. So I was like, no, just get your degree first. That way it's always in the bank. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You always got it.
And then you can always come back to it. And people are like, oh, that's bullshit. Well, okay. 23 years later, 23 years after my bachelor's, I started working on my master's. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't fade away. Right. It's not like a statute of limitation with certain crimes or something like that.
Yeah.
You can always go back to it. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kidding. But but it's true. I mean, some things are a statute of limitation. Education is not one of them.
For sure, yeah.
It's never too late.
It's like an investment in the bank, man.
Yeah.
Make that investment.
I'm thinking about going back to my master's. It's just, man.
Yeah, man.
More
just take your time, dude.
Yeah,
time,
for sure.
Dude.
For sure.
And also, it's like everything you learn is going to stay with you anyway. You get switched companies, and you're going to carry everything you've learned with you.
You learn so much through the field, so it's like you can learn a lot in a book, but it's like you also learn so much in the field and working with clients and
that's what I was
how people actually interact with you.
That's right. Yeah.
Transitioning this into mental health side, because I know you've dealt with your own mental health. I don't want to say problems, but you've dealt with
realities. Yeah,
depression, anxiety. I think everyone deals with that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but.
Well, you listened to the show about imposter syndrome, right?
I did. Yes,
yeah,
correct.
And you heard about where I couldn't even leave the house.
Yeah.
They're almost like an agoraphobic. So, I'm like an open book. So, you don't have to share anything on here. But, it certainly lends you to be better prepared to talk to people who are going to do something that you've already been through.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And say you just read in the book. I mean, if you don't mind, I'll tell this quick story. Then so there was a guy when I worked at Tucker's when I retired, which is part of Chippenham Hospital as security. So we had people there that had gotten, some people were RNs that became therapists. We had one lady there who was a therapist who was a patient at Tucker's at one point, and then she ended up being a therapist and working at Tucker's. So what you were saying about life experience. So there's a guy, I won't say his name, but super cool dude. He had his degree in music, and he got a job at Tucker's as a mental health tech because his best friend, a lifelong friend, actually female, was an RN there. And literally in about a year and a half of being there, and I was watching him and stuff. That was one thing I liked about the job, was seeing these young people starting. And he learned more in that year and a half being a mental health tech as far as about people than he ever would have learned just going to college or even as through high school and all that. So, it really, he said it, and this job changed my entire life. Yeah. So, when you deal with people and you see people at their worst particular, and not just the patients, but also the staff. I mean, I saw good staff that worked there at the hospital. These people are all hospitalized just temporarily, And then you'd see staff members that were great with people that needed help, and some that were in a position of power as a nurse or an RN or whatever, and they would use that power for ill purposes.
Right.
They had that addiction to it.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm getting around to is you'll never regret doing what you did, and you either as a teacher is that lifelong experience of having to deal with people. I mean, that's money in the bank, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Teaches you not everything, but it gives you a different outlook on a lot of things.
Yeah, and one more thing. We had a dude that was there. He basically went from high school to bachelor's to master's, and he was supposed to be a therapist. And nothing against the kid. He was all right. But, I mean, I'm just like, dude, this cat don't know jack shit. You know what I mean? So he would have family meetings with people whose kids were there.
Yeah.
And he don't have a kid. Mm-hmm. He's 20-some years old. He's never done nothing but go to school. And I'm just like, I'm sitting there looking at this. I mean, if I was a parent, like, hey, what do you think? He's sitting there like, I don't have kids. How old are you? 27. Are you married? No. I was like, how the hell are you giving me advice about being a parent?
Right.
Yeah, that's a little tough.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So anyway, you'll never regret it.
Yeah, and I was just thinking in your field, right? Well, actually, both of your fields, you deal with a lot of probably people who have a lot of, well, I guess from the outside view, people have different misconceptions about mental health and what you see on TV or what you see in commercials and stuff. But I guess both your experience. What do you see going in as a misconception? And I'm trying to get around to, like, most of these people are just everyday people, like normal people who have maybe something drastic happened, or maybe they've just been stuck in the system for so long.
Right. They could be stuck in their environment, or they could have a past trauma that is still affecting them. They could have a substance abuse issue that people don't know about. It's just so many different things that you deal with, and you see so many different people while you work, and you get different clients. You see different things in the environment, and it's kind of a lot, to get in there.
I'm sure a lot of it's specific to that, like you said, that environment, that situation too.
Right. So, I mean, with different people, you make a individualized service plan for each client that you get, and you make goals for each person, and then you work on them with those goals. So it could be, obtaining employment or obtaining housing. Or every first goal for us is at least working on your mental health.
Right.
So it has to be, working on coping skills, kind of figuring out how to sustain yourself individually. Mm-hmm. And then you can have a substance abuse goal. You can have a housing goal, employment goal, independent living skills. It's just, you work on so many different things with these people. And we wake up every day and we look at our goals and look what we want to do. And we think about, let's say we want to get housing, right? We know that we have to save our money. We have to save up for a deposit. We have to move our things properly. It's just so many steps before you can actually acquire housing. Right. A lot of the people that I work with, mental illness, they don't have, clear rational thinking because of their mental illness, and they just say, I want housing, and they want to be moved into their house tomorrow.
And they have
it's just not how it works. They don't have a budget prepared. They don't have money for a deposit. They don't have a first month's rent ready. And it's just, you really have to meet them where they are, and help them get to every step. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like the biggest thing.
Yeah. That's where you come in.
Yeah, that's where I come in. It's like, and you can only do so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't get them approved. I can help them with applications. I can help them save money, but I can't be the one to get them approved. I'm not moving their stuff in for them. They still have to do things on their own.
Yeah, because you're not their parent.
Correct.
You're just a helping hand.
Correct. Yeah.
You guide them.
Yeah. I help them with their skill building. I help them, individualize as adults. I help them be sustainable in the community and their own lives. I help them access resources. I'm a support. I'll walk with you, but I'm never gonna lead your hand and take you across. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
what's the saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you
can't force it to drink. That's exactly how it is.
Yeah. So like he's saying is, there's what you would take for granted. So like the misconception about mental illness is, I would say that, first of all, a lot of people are just terrified of people. They think everybody who's mentally ill is violent or, whatever. But that's not the case. Of course, some people are that are mentally ill, but what we call normal people are dangerous too,
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, like Marcus is saying is the idea that like a mental health skill builder is somebody that, the idea of saving money, putting money in the bank, and all these other things are determined upon whether they even have a job. So, can they hold a job? Do they have a transportation to the job? Are they able to have the skills to show up to work on time, work a full 4 to 8 hour day?
Do they even have the appropriate clothing?
All these things are
stuff.
what you take for granted is just like every day as a struggle. Now, that's not for every group. I mean, you've got different types, but some clients are bipolar, some clients are schizophrenic. I'm talking about some of the clients I have.
Major depressive is a mental illness. I mean, that's a lot of people I deal with have major depressive disorder. So it's, they kind of get stuck in their rut.
Yeah, they can't get out of that.
And that is just extreme depression.
Right. Yeah. It's you have certain signs that you have to go through and certain kind of checkoffs to be assessed as major depressive disorder.
Right.
And the other thing is, they get their services a lot of through the state or through their community service board.
Mm-hmm.
So those people are already, understaffed, underpaid.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you may not have the best of the best in those particular fields, and then the wait list to get anything done is forever. Like, if somebody applies a disability, it may take almost a year for them to get the notice back whether they're approved or not.
Right.
And there's a guy, I know a client that he's been trying to get a part of a program. He's waited about 3 months. And he comes back, he's not qualified. But, I mean, that's a long time. Imagine you need an immediate, like you need food or you need transportation to a doctor's appointment and you don't have a car. And same with me. I'm not transportation for people to go to a doctor's appointment. Now, we can go if, they're terrified or they have stressors about going. But, the company I work for is not necessarily a transportation company. So, it's what I guess what I'm getting around to is the system's broken and it's nothing new. The president today signed new legislature to try to get additional monies and assistance to people struggling for mental health. That's just at the national level, but even at the state level, everybody knows the system's broke.
Yeah,
this is overwhelmed.
And they get taken advantage of too.
They get taken advantage of, but even with COVID and people let's take a look at the teenagers. Suicide rate increased, depression rates decreased. Increased rather. So that the system was already taxed, and then you add COVID to it. Now the system's overburdened, and as a result, you got people just waiting, and that waiting equates to more anxiety, more suffering, and no services available. People are just waiting to get services.
Yeah. Well, I know that's what happened to. When I was teaching the kids I was working with, there was I think 3 or 4 time. Actually, I take that back. I think it tripled once COVID hit, the amount of kids who got put out for either suicide watch or went to a mental health facility.
Yeah.
And usually it was like 1 or 2 kids a year. And then it was just repeat. It would be the repeat kids too. It would continue to happen just based on their environment. But after COVID hit, it was like that amount tripled within the first 3 or 4 months of school compared to like the previous 1 or 2 years before that.
Right.
And then the kids who would go in there, like you said, they would be sitting there waiting for medication, or I would get emails from parents like so-and-so just started their new medication, and whatever had happened that triggered it had been like 2 or 3 months prior to that. And it took them 3 months just to get a doctor's visit and that medication. And the kid's sitting there suffering the whole time.
Right.
Yeah, I know it's not just kids, but I'm just...
Yeah. Well, that's what you were exposed to, and that's who you were working with. But I mean, the bottom line is, you don't know suffering. I mean, there's plenty of people that suffer with diseases and physical ailments. But the other thing is, when like Marcus said, major depression or anxiety disorders. I mean, that's real suffering.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not be a physical pain, but it is a physiological change in your body that you get into this cycle you can't get out of. And it's real. It's not this thing about, he just so-and-so's faking or just tough it up. It's not even close to something like that. So when somebody says something along those lines, they're fortunate enough or who have never been through something like that.
Right.
Correct.
I mean, it's disabling. I mean, like I said, I was like 19 or 20. I couldn't even get out of the freaking house, man, because everywhere I went was anxiety attack after anxiety attack.
Yeah.
And it just... fortunately and unfortunately, I suffer because my parents didn't believe in the medication regimen or whatever. So I just had to learn myself how to through cognitive behavioral therapy, how to restructure my way of thinking to overcome it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, and of course, I mean, we're both 27, so we have our own.
Y'all might break, man. This is the time.
You're not 27 yet.
And I am.
Yeah, you are.
June.
This is the time for the major break, man. You guys might break now.
I knew I was older. But just based on your experience and then based on this, the job you have now, if someone's in a tough spot, if someone's really struggling with maybe depression or might be away from the mental or away from like a disability.
Yeah, just kind of like,
just like typical, you're about to get married, you're looking for a house, stressful times. So what are your strategies you use?
Personally, I've always used kind of my own coping skills. Currently, I'm actually looking into seeing a therapist personally. I just feel like you can only go through so many coping skills, but at some point you need to figure out like, hey, like, I need to talk to someone professionally. Mm-hmm. Like I can only do so many things for my house.
Heck yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you have bugs in your house, you can only do so many home things until it's like, okay, I need to call an exterminator. I need to call someone who knows what they're doing.
Right.
So that's kind of, where I'm at. I'm not saying like, the world is ending, but it's just like, hey, I know I can tell this is not the best me.
Right.
And I want to talk to someone and figure that out. And I've always suggested that to people. Like, I feel like most people should seek therapy. You know what I mean? No one is perfect. And
I think we've said this before. If someone's head hurts or they're having chest pain, you go straight to a doctor.
Correct.
If you break your leg, straight to the hospital. If you feel like you're depressed or you feel off, people are scared to go.
Mental health just has
take medicine or
such
see a therapist.
Stigma that it like, you're not sad, just, you'll be fine or whatever. And it's like, there's such a stigma about like, going to see therapists or talking about your feelings or, men crying or whatever. And it's just like, that is real life. People experience emotions, things happen. And I've always been a proprietor of, trying to set positive coping skills for yourself, journaling, going for walks, being physically active, trying to clean up your diet, little things that you can do. But ultimately, if you really need to get your feelings out and do something like that, seek a therapist, seek someone who's professional and who knows what they're talking about and that can listen to you and provide support.
Yeah. I'm not saying this is.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying, particularly if you're doing this line of work, it probably is. I mean, aside from the fact that, maybe you had some pre-existing things going on in your life that you'd like to have somebody to talk about, but every day dealing with people with these, that have problems similar to yours or more or worse, it's always good to have somebody else to talk to.
Right.
So I think that's a great idea. And in fact, a lot of people who are therapists have their own therapist for that very reason.
Yeah.
Because you begin, particularly if you're like an empath or somewhat empathetic, some of that stuff starts to, you start to feel the pain of the person you're talking to, and it just becomes part of you. So it's definitely a great idea. I would suggest it for anybody.
Yeah. I have a couple clients I have like under my scheduling and I see them weekly, and it's just like, I take a little bit off their plate every week, and then I have my own things. I have my fiance, I have my family, and it kind of just accumulates.
That's right.
And then, sometimes you just need to vent that out, talk to someone, get it out. And I've always felt like I've never experienced therapy. I've been the one to see it, and I've been able to provide people and clients with, supportive interventions, things like that. But ultimately, I'm kind of like really getting into the idea that I want to talk to someone and kind of just like get all my feelings out.
Yeah, do it, man.
Yeah, for
I know
sure.
it helps because I know, and I know it's hard to find too.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna bounce around. I know many of people who have had to go through 3 or 4 therapists before they found out like who was for them.
Especially in person too.
No, yeah, I'm definitely an in person. I remember during COVID that time, like I was kind of, getting isolated. COVID was like a hard time for everybody. And I feel like I wanted to talk to somebody at that point, and everyone was taking virtual. And I was just like, I feel like I can't like connect. I feel like I just can't like get there. I've always felt like disconnected with virtual.
Yeah.
Doesn't really push you in the moment.
I will say it because that's what I was saying. It's harder to get an in-person therapist fast because I know
for sure.
Because I'll bring up my wife Frankie. Her dad had passed less than a year ago, and she was looking for somebody. I mean, that was a traumatic thing. She was looking for somebody right away, and everything was booked like 4 to 5. I was at 4 to 6 months.
Yeah,
before she could even meet somebody.
Didn't take processes.
And the next click she would make was like schedule an appointment in whatever end of the year, and the next thing was a suicide hotline number would pop up. It's like, why is that?
That's the system's broke, man. Yeah.
It's like, oh, you need help? Well, we're going to assume the worst.
There's a suicide hotline. There's a crisis hotline. There's a housing hotline. And most of those hotlines just, you leave a voicemail and
wait to hear back.
We'll get back to
you.
So
what you're saying is she wanted to talk to somebody and the next thing pops up is, hey, here's the suicide hotline.
Basically like, sorry, you have to wait 6 months. Here's the suicide hotline. As if you don't feel worse already.
Yeah, it makes you feel a lot worse.
Yeah.
Right.
So luckily, that's what I'm trying to say. In person is definitely better. I agree. But Frankie did find somebody virtually, and it helped her.
Good for her.
Tremendously. But
yeah,
awesome. I mean, I think it's always good either way. Not be scared to look for somebody and find somebody.
Hey, ask for help, man. I mean,
for sure.
I don't
even
care
if
who
it's, you said your fiance, your wife, or someone professional.
Who cares, man? I mean,
or you could just sports gamble,
Sports game. I mean, so real quick, like, coming from law enforcement, and we had a Dr. Greenberg on here. This is, what episode is this? 6?
This is 6.
Hey, what's your connection to the number 6? Anything?
June. I was born in June.
Ooh. Damn, bro.
1996.
Are you bullshit?
June 4th, 1996.
Great God. You better play them numbers.
6496.
$800 million.
There it is.
But anyway,
what's your credit card number?
6.
They're maxed out.
Yeah, but anyway, the point is, particularly with cops, they wouldn't ask for help. I mean, and I've seen people's lives crumble, man. So, real quick, so when I taught at the academy for, I guess, 5 years, part-time staff or whatever it was, I would tell my story to every single class, about not being able to leave the house, about being an alcoholic and all these things, because I'm like, look, I didn't mind sharing the story. I mean, I'm a proud person, but I didn't really care and I still don't care because I want, if somebody else is in this, that's why I want to touch on this, because what you said about a therapist, I don't give a shit. I'll tell my story to anybody because I want to be able to help somebody.
Right. You want to make it a safe space.
Yeah. My pride is not big enough
that
I can't share my story with the hopes that somebody else won't go through the same thing.
Right.
That's all. So, don't, if you think you need to talk to somebody, talk to them.
No, absolutely. I think making a safe space and connecting with people based on your experiences is so big.
Yeah, it's big.
Because you've already fought the battle. You're just trying to help somebody get to that point.
Get through their battle now.
Bing bong. All right, so what are you going to ask something else about?
Man.
So, yeah, the last...
talk about DraftKings or something. I don't know.
I'm going to bring it up because... I think it was, I don't know, what podcast was it?
All right, so let me just preface this real quick.
It's with Tommy.
When it came up with Tommy was talking about money and sports betting came up, and I started going off saying some people...
Well, hang on. First, when you told me you freaking were on this betting shit, I was about to reach across the table and smack your freaking hat off.
Well, I only did it. I bet like a couple of dollars.
Okay.
Just to try it out. Because they give you like the free...
you're bigger than me now, but go ahead.
I don't know about that. But they give you like the free... I say free, but credits to bet. And once that was up, I stopped. But I was like, some people will get to the point where they're betting on tennis and betting on ping pong. And I completely forgot that Marcus had told me that.
Yeah.
And he told me after he listened to it, he was like, yeah, thanks for bringing me up. And
all right, so you were the guy betting on tennis?
Yeah, I was betting on a lot of
ping pong?
Yeah, it was bad. I was getting those unemployment COVID checks, and I was bored. And I just had a lot of money to spend.
Governor Youngkin, don't. Yeah, whatever the hell the board is looking at.
We're not worried about that.
I'm kidding.
I already got my tax statement.
All right, so go ahead. So what happened? How did it all begin?
Well, first it wasn't legal until a couple like.
I
COVID
mean,
hit.
Yeah. So once
I
it
think
became
they
legal,
started at like I think it was like January 2021. So I was already getting all my COVID. I already got like so many COVID checks.
a couple grand in the bank account.
Yeah. So I mean,
get
Where do you
rich
think
quick.
that chain came from on his neck?
OG,
it's
baby.
for my fiance. I think it was like a birthday gift or it was a Christmas gift. It was a gift.
Sorry.
Right.
But yeah, I've always enjoyed sports, and I was just like, let's just gamble, let's just have some fun, and it
what was the
so-
first thing you bet on? So what is a sport you feel confident about betting on?
Probably football. It's probably my best sport.
So you're a baller, man.
Well, no, he's actually a basketball player growing up.
But I'm getting is like everybody thinks they know something about a sport. So for you, it was
Yeah.
football. Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
it was
Who's your team?
The Raiders, but I don't bet on them because they suck. And there's a lot of personal bias. I don't bet on bias.
I mean,
Hang on, dog.
we're Washington fans, so
Commanders,
Yikes.
dog.
I mean they're not too good.
The Reds. Oh, they're kind. All right,
Can't say that.
so your first bet was a football. What was the first game you bet on? I mean, explain how
Actually,
this
I think
works.
at the time, January, there's no football, so I'm pretty sure I was betting on basketball first. And I was like, I was hitting blah, blah, blah. But at the time, I had like, COVID money. So I was just gambling a lot. And then,
What's the most you won when you were gambling?
the most I've won in a single bet.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
I think the most I've ever won, I put 50 down and I won like 500. So I got 500 back from 50.
It's not bad.
That
The
was my,
mafia's coming for him.
oh my God.
Well, we're not going to compare that to what you've lost.
Yeah, we're not. That's what you said. Tom, was it Tommy that said that?
Yeah.
We talk about the wins. We don't talk about the losses.
Exactly.
Well, we haven't got there yet.
We'll talk about that.
All right, so
Yeah,
you
no.
know you won was $550 bet. I guess the odds are what, 10 to 1 or 100 to 1?
It was plus 1,000. So I put 50 and I won 500.
Okay, then what happened?
I mean,
A couple UFC fights and then
things happen. You're really confident and you put a lot of money down on certain bets and they don't hit and you chase your losses. And
What's the most you lost?
nah, we don't talk about that.
I mean, I've talked to my fiance about this. I've talked to
Oh, no, don't get in trouble, dog.
No. I mean, I remember
you're in a
I
new-
told her one time when I was really like in my depths, I think I lost like 600 on a bet one time. That was like my biggest loss.
That hurts the account a little bit.
That hurt my feelings deeply.
Hang on a second.
I had sleep for dinner that night.
Yeah, that sounds not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'm picturing like thousands.
Oh no.
Well, there are people who
I'm-
get into that.
No. Yeah, there are people who my bankrolls. It wasn't that big at the time. It's definitely not that big anymore.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I still gamble a little bit. I mostly gamble on things I really like. I don't even touch like sports I don't watch because it's like
So what is it you get out of gambling? I mean, is it the thrill?
yeah, it's just like the little extra personal on it. Like yeah, like a little like I'm not on the field, making touchdowns and stuff, but I got like a little win. You know what I mean?
You got a little blood in the game.
Yeah. Like I like betting on UFC, and I like watching men just punch each other to bloody pulps.
Yeah.
We've always watched UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
Dana White sponsors.
But I'm not. But now I know responsible gambling, and I know how to, not lose my rent or
Right.
get in trouble. So whenever I lose now, it's not like anything that's gonna like ruin my night or like ruin the event. Like if I
Right.
win, it's cool. It's extra. If I lose, and it's just like, okay, I lost lunch for like Tuesday or whatever. Like I'm
Yeah.
not betting more than I can lose.
Damn, this is kind of a letdown. I was looking for like just some major gambling stuff.
Oh no, that was early. Yeah, I was really just like pumping money into it, and I was like,
Like the mafias, like you had to like take that special loan from Leo on the corner.
nah,
it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. The state legalized it, so
Yeah. Just having
you
some
can
fun.
just go through the apps, and they have every single app that you could possibly think of. Sports Illustrated has a sports betting app.
Yeah, because they get a percentage of that no matter what.
Yeah, I was surprised that they. I mean, I know the lottery, but I was surprised that they legalized gambling.
I think they're going to legalize like online casinos soon. I think that's
'Cause
their
it's so
next
easy.
move.
You
They
download
already
the
have
app.
casinos in the state that you can. They have one in Portsmouth now that my friends go to, and I think they're gonna legalize online like gambling on your
Yeah.
phone, like the little roulette and blackjack and stuff on
Yeah,
your phone.
because most people have their credit card saved or Apple Pay.
Right. I
They
mean,
just
with,
pull right
with
from
the
that.
sport betting apps, it's just linked to your card that's linked to your checking account. You can just get it right to your.
Yeah, it's a bad. I mean,
It's all broken.
It sure is.
it's a bad
It's
idea.
very predatory.
I mean, because we're talking about people. Everybody thinks money is going to be the solution to addiction or depression or whatever. Since we're talking about mental health, I mean, for some people, money is a curse. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're a drunk or you're a drug addict, that's the worst thing. You don't need money. You need something else. You know,
Just
so
fuel that fire.
yeah. I mean, just look. You know, so like think about like people who get their checks. You know, the support checks. You know, EBT or whatever checks. I can't think of the name of it now, but I mean.
Social Security, disability, whatever.
Yeah, if that translated into cash, I mean, that's why so many of these systems or these like EBT is on a debit card. You can only buy certain kinds of food.
They give
Those
you
kind
like
of
a
things.
list of what you can get.
Yeah, because if not, it would just be, you'd be
of
loading up on
whatever.
beer
Yeah.
or drugs or God knows what else. So
Yeah.
What's I think it's all addictive. Whether it's the rush of winning money. I mean, smoking cigarettes is the same thing.
yeah,
I think I told you the other day, and nothing against anyone who smokes, because we have family who smokes, and I know plenty of people who smoke, but a guy I worked with, his dad had a stroke 10 years ago, and he had this app on his phone that kept track of how much money he saved since he stopped smoking after his stroke. And
after his dad's stroke.
I'm sorry. After his dad had a stroke. So after 10 years, I think he saved at least $80,000 to $90,000 within a 10-year span.
Wow.
Yeah, not buying cigarettes.
Yeah, because I mean,
yeah.
it's usually it's probably gone up. I think you guys. I mean, it's at least $800 to $1,000 a month. So over time,
Yeah. I mean,
depends on how much you smoke, of course.
I know people that
And drinking's the same way.
People I know that spend $800 to $900 a month or more on alcohol and cigarettes. Mm-hmm. It's like I can't pay my bills. Like, okay, well,
Right.
hello. Do we need to let's do a graph for you.
I can't afford housing, but you eat out like 4 times a week, and
Right.
this and that.
Yeah, I mean, so
Yep.
life skills. That's the whole thing. Going back to not just let's just think about the COVID. So COVID, I was a big. I'm not trying to get into this debate, but not with you guys. But I mean, if somebody's watching, and the bottom line is, if you were so worried about your health that you had to wear a mask everywhere you went, but then you went to McDonald's and the lines, out on the street through the drive-through, and you're eating freaking McDonald's, you're not really worried about your freaking health. You understand? So it's like you understand that, and so many for the clients and for the clients I see and just for everyday people is much of what your problems are health-wise and mental health-wise is, of your own doing. Like you said, if I go out and eat junk food every day and I've got high cholesterol and, I'm overweight, it's like, okay, well, hey, maybe eat healthier.
Right.
Those kind of things.
Right.
But I knew dudes that were triple masking and eating, Papa John's or Little Caesars pizza for lunch every day. It's like, dude, are you freaking serious right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it makes sense.
Shit drove me crazy, man.
It's just really not like rational thinking. It's like, okay, you're so worried about this, but then you're doing
Right, you're doing
this
worse than
every
the other
day.
shit. Right.
Right.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
All right.
hurting yourself. Now I was gonna say you can. This is a yes or no question right now. This isn't anything. This is nothing crazy.
Oh man.
I was asking your shirt. Did you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I was trying to look at the damn thing.
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring it up at the end if you guys were gonna ask me about it, but
Yeah, I want to ask you about it now.
okay, yeah. So I'm wearing a Beansway T-shirt. So it's a nonprofit my stepmom started. It's kind of in honor and support of my sister who passed away to accidental drowning. She was, I believe, 3 years old at the time, and that's kind of just like a big one of the leading causes for children is just accidental drowning. So my stepmom became a infant swim instructor, so she helps infants learn how to, like, if they fall in a pool, like flip to their back, or kind
That's
of
good, yeah.
swimming resources, swimming instructions, stuff like that. So yeah, we're having a 5K coming up soon, I think on the 12th.
Yeah, August 12th.
August
you told me.
12th, yeah. So
Where's it going to be? I mean,
it's going to be down in Virginia Beach. Katie and I are going to go down there. My family's going to be there. A bunch of family friends.
Now, how long has the nonprofit been in existence?
I want to say not too long after my my sister passed away. I know that happened, and then I know my mom really went into like, this isn't going to happen to anybody else. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Kind
That's
of what they went through. So yeah, that's kind of.
So I mean, is the 5K new, or is it this has always been in existence?
I think we've definitely had this before, but we're trying to incorporate new events and really just. It's not even just for Beans Way in particular, but it's just for the message of
okay, all right, gotcha.
Children drowning and just trying to really get awareness on that aspect. I mean, it happens instantaneously and it happens in seconds. So
oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
And now I feel bad because I was like, I want to ask about the dam. Sure, I had no idea. So
no, don't
next
feel bad.
time, give me a heads up.
I wore it. Like, no.
Well, no, I'm kidding, but yeah.
Well, I knew it was a sensitive topic. I knew you wore it, and that's a good. I mean, it's a great PSA.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, let's put that
and
link
in honor of your
put that
your
link
sister,
of,
too.
of the
for
race
sure.
on there on the.
Do you guys have a website and stuff too?
Yeah, we have a whole link to Beans Way. You can donate. You can. I mean, the 5K is coming up, so it's kind of late to do that. But you can always donate. You can get information on ISR. You can get information on infant swimming resources, instructions, anything like that.
Yeah, that's great.
ISR,
Yeah,
infant swimming resources.
yeah,
Well,
Okay.
we'll just put it on the thing you do.
yeah, absolutely.
On
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah. I'll put the link in there, and then if anyone wants to donate or just support,
Or participate or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
appreciate it. Yeah, just support the cause.
In honor of your sister and everything that your family's doing
Gabriella,
to keep it going.
yeah.
Gabriella.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, that's a tough. I didn't know if you wanted to bring it up, but I know it's.
I mean, it's we're at the point now where we want to really
push it.
yeah, share her story and kind of keep her in remembrance. And, we don't want anyone else, any other family, parent, sibling to have to go through this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the more awareness you can get out on it, it's just the better.
Yeah. This is what we talked about. You fought a battle. You want someone else. You want to help someone else get through
Right?
theirs.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Katie a lot. You just got engaged.
I did just get engaged. I got engaged literally just about a month ago. Yeah.
Did you
That's
cry?
Insane. No, I didn't cry. I was shaking a lot though.
So tell us the setup. Where did it happen?
Well, I remember you told me. I've known this is going to happen for a while, but because you were in my wedding party, you were one of my groomsmen and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I remember you picked out the ring with Katie. Mm-hmm. Frankie and I did the same thing.
Yeah.
And then you told me, I don't know, a month before the whole
plan.
Your
Yeah,
whole
I had it
plan.
all lined up because I had
So
to
go
get,
ahead.
I had to
Tell
get a
us.
photographer and everything. So we went to Maymont Park, which is like a really pretty kind of floral botanical garden in Richmond. I took her there. I had the photographer ready and everything. I set her up. It was so hot out there.
I think that was one of the weekends it was
like
in the
pushing,
90s for the first
it was
time.
pushing in the 90s, yeah. And I was like, hey, babe, let's just go for a walk real quick. She 100% knew. Because the whole time I was like, yay, can you get your nails done? Like,
Oh, Lord.
you want to,
Yeah, hell
get your
yeah.
Because they want
eyebrows
their
done.
nails to look
you know,
right in the
you wanna
pictures.
look- because I knew if it, whatever would have happened, it just had to be right. So, I took her to Maymont, just a beautiful area.
She's got Marcus.
It was a beautiful area, and I had the photographer set up and everything, and it was perfect. We got the pictures. No one was there when we took the pictures. It was just, it really kind of worked out any better.
What'd you say? Like, hey, will you go with me?
Yeah, so I feel like I kind of blacked out a little bit. I was just like, hey, I love you. You're my best friend. You make me a better man every single day. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And I just popped on one knee and I opened the box upside down, actually. She told me that later.
Yeah. There's always something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I opened
yeah.
the box and the ring is like hanging from the top of the box. She was like, you opened the box backwards. And I was like, no, I don't remember anything. I just pulled it out of my pocket and I opened it. I didn't even look at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I grabbed her hand and she was like shaking. So
that's
the
nice.
photographer was there and everything. It was beautiful. Everything worked out like exactly how I wanted it to.
That's nice, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, congrats. I remember when I proposed to Frankie, had everything planned out, and I didn't know what hand to put it on. So I'm sitting there with the ring in my hand, and I'm thinking, because she's facing me, so I'm like,
Right.
so
Yeah,
my
left.
left, her left. So I had to ask her what hand to put it on, and she still brings that up.
Dang.
And I figured she'd like offer her hand to me, but she's sitting there, same thing, shaking, nervous.
Oh, man.
And I'm like,
Well, I mean, congratulations to both of you guys, man.
Yeah,
Because,
thank you.
Such a push not to get married, not to have kids, and all this kind of crap. And it's like these people that are pushing this narrative are got some serious problems.
I'm trying to be like y'all.
Yeah. Well, when I proposed to Eric's mom, we lived in Hopewell, and I just did it. We were in the bathroom, like this addition of this house has been added on to like, I don't know how many, 3 or 4 times, and we're in this little makeshift bathroom. It's like they added an outhouse, and like, connected it to the crib. And
Back in my day.
yeah, I just did it on the bathroom floor, man.
There's a bathroom extended to the house.
She's like, "Are you going to sit or are you going to stand?" Because I was, in the bath
Right.
we had like the sit down toilet,
Yeah.
like most houses do. And I just
Most people have.
I just rolled out to the knee, man. That was it. No ring. They couldn't afford a ring, and
Wait, so you're sitting on the toilet and went straight to a knee from the toilet?
yeah,
Pants at the ankles?
something like that. She's like, "At least put a towel on, cover
is not
yourself
true.
up."
This is what
Well, the
you're-
bathroom
this is what
part's
you're
true,
gonna
but
get for the rest
the
of your
toilet.
life.
I think we had this big cast iron tub, with the bear claw things, the
Clawfoot tubs.
clawfoot tub.
Were y'all in the 1700s or something?
I don't know. This house is old, Jack. And I just rolled out the bathtub, man. What's up? You want to get hitched up or what?
He knew what he wanted. He made a
Yes.
move.
We've been married for 30 some years, so we're doing all right, man.
That's what it
Worked
takes.
out.
Roll out the tub.
Out the tub.
rolled out
On the one knee.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Well, I don't know. I don't support that.
I don't either. But anyway, it just sounded cool because of the tide of the tub, the tide of the bathtub.
Go Rams.
Yeah. But
Undefeated football
hey,
team.
and y'all got a new basketball coach, man.
I don't know. I can't believe Mike Rhodes left.
Yeah, man, with Penn State or something like that. But anyway, the
Something
point
like
is,
that.
I think the team's gonna be it's gonna be good.
It's all money.
So let's see, where are we at?
Yeah, but no, we've been engaged for almost a month now, and a ton of people are asking us,
Yeah, when's the wedding, dog?
Oh,
Where's it
man.
at, man?
You should have all
where's
this
the
together.
wedding? What colors are you wearing? When is the wedding? Who's in the bridal parties?
Yeah, who's in the
What do you
bridal
guys wanna
party,
eat?
Marcus?
Just every question under the sun has been asked, and it's just like, can we?
Planning stage.
I know
Who's in
I
the
mean, you're
bridal
still on the
party?
planning stage, right?
we are in the yeah, of course, but it's
Yeah.
just like we just started planning, and people are asking us every question, and it's just
Yeah,
like,
just
we will get there.
Yeah, just say, look, man, take
Who's in the bridal party?
Bro,
I'm kidding.
you already know. Don't ask those crazy questions.
So, let me ask you this: what's the one thing you've always wanted to tell Eric that you never had a chance?
God.
You don't have to do this shit. I love.
I don't know. I feel like I've always been so honest with him. I feel like we've really been through like thick and
We're in,
thin.
like, couples counseling
he knows
right now.
He truly knows
How did you
everything.
feel when he hurt your feelings the second time? No, I'm kidding. All right, so
I never hurt Marcus's feelings, dude.
shit. I mean, one time I came over to the apartment.
Oh, man.
So what's? Probably have to wrap this up soon, but you guys lived at 1200 or some shit. Like what was?
1200?
1200.
So first it was 17th floor.
That was our junior year.
Oh, God.
There's a
Hold on.
whole story
Then-
about that I was going to tell, but I think we're running out of time. But yeah, who gives a shit? We're running the podcast.
What's time? Well, first I want to
Damn.
bring up, we lived in B&B.
Sophomore year.
What is B&B?
Broad and
Broad and
Belvedere.
Belvedere. That's what the apartment complex is called.
Called it B&B, baby.
Called it
We're
B&B.
first floor. Random roommate. Almost got us all arrested. Anyway, B&B was infested with rats.
Sure was.
So every morning at 4 a.m., the trash trucks would come, and the dumpsters were outside of our rooms. The headlights from the trash truck would shine in our rooms at 4:30. Then you hear poof, poof, and banging the trash cans. It happened every morning. But of course, there were rats in the whole first floor. So I remember Marcus got home one night, maybe drunk from a party. But tell him what happened. You walked into the kitchen.
Yeah, so I walked home pretty late from some extracurricular events, and I walked into our apartment, and a rat jumped out of the trash can and scurried his way onto Eric and I's side of the apartment.
He said, you know when the dog
And-
can't get traction on the floor?
Yeah, you know when it like
It's-
gets it and it like slides and it goes? That's exactly what happened. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going over there. So I woke up Mike, who was living with us at the time, and I said, hey, man, there's a rat in our apartment. And then I woke up Eric, and somehow to this day,
We never
we
found it.
never found the rat. And
We closed off that whole room or side of the
I
room.
don't know what to say about it.
With a lacrosse stick and a broom, and never found that rat. And then
We thought we trapped it in the bathroom, and then we opened the bathroom door up, and it wasn't there. And it made us even more scared.
yeah. So then at one point there was a hole in our kitchen. The rats were coming through the hole, so they patched it up with whatever drywall.
They literally crawled.
And
They
then
literally
we-
scratched their way through drywall,
Yeah.
they made a hole in the wall.
the rats ate their way back through the wall. So one night I put a plastic to-go container before they got there again, duct taped it to the wall, and we woke up to them scratching. You can see their eyes poking through the plastic, and they're scratching at this plastic to-go container, trying to get into our room.
Top 5 most terrifying moments of my life.
And we're talking to the neighbors, and everyone had the same problem. So they came.
Remember I was the farthest room away from it almost, and I heard it. It woke me up, and I texted you in the middle of the night. In my mind, I was like, "There's no way he responds to this. I'm just going to text him." And I was like, "Yo, Eric, do you hear these rats right now?" And he texted me back immediately, and you were like, "Yeah, I hear him." And I was like, "There's no way this is happening right now."
Gee,
Yeah.
So they came and exterminated them and patched the holes. So
yeah, there's just dead rats in the walls now or something.
yeah,
Whatever.
but I've heard that I think they dehydrate the poison.
Yeah, but then where do they go?
It dehydrates them, so they kind of just
turn to powder.
turn into powder, turn into drywall.
Turn into powder.
Anyway, so yeah, we did that. Lived at 1200, and that was right behind the Siegel Center, where they play basketball. So with Frankie was on the cheer team, so he went to all kinds of basketball games.
Yeah,
I was on the.
You were in
the Peppas.
Peppas, yeah.
I was in the pep band for a couple of
Go
years.
through and see y'all too, yeah.
So we got free tickets all the time. So watch basketball. Lived at 1200, and now we're back in Chester.
That's it,
Full
man.
circle, dude.
Back to the
Full
hill.
circle.
So any last second shout outs you have? Anything you want to talk about?
No, we kind of talked about Beans Way. That was kind of what I was going to talk about, to be honest. But
that was a good PSA.
I'm really honored to be here. I was glad that we got to talk about mental health and just everything going on.
Chat it up
Yeah,
on the hill.
Chat it up on the hill. That's good stuff, man.
Go ahead.
Yeah, in the future we're gonna get some cups made. So next time we'll have you back on. We'll give you
I'll be on pre-order.
on the hill hat, man. On the hill cup, man. Coffee cup.
I saw the design.
We'll get you a hat too.
Yeah,
And you got.
I didn't get the hat. Oh, never mind.
Well, he took
his
his
hat off.
Yeah, what you got to do is get a tattoo though, man. On the hill.
On the hill, baby. You do have a tattoo.
I do have one tat. Yeah, I'm actually thinking about getting a leg sleeve. To be honest, that's my next. I'm thinking about getting a leg sleeve.
Like up the calf.
I got big thighs, so I might just go up. I might go to maybe a little bit above my knee or something. I don't really know.
Just
but,
get your
yeah.
fiance tattooed on the side of your calf, man. Your thigh.
I've always been I've always thought a pinup doll was pretty cool. I've kind of been into those.
All the way up your leg.
No, not that big. Stretched out. Nah, not quite.
Yeah. We'll get the on the hill tattoo.
I'm trying to be like you with your half
dude.
full, half.
I have a half
almost
sleeve.
half sleeve.
But
Yeah.
I'll get it finished one day. Once I get the money up.
Yeah. I have my dad's birthday on my arm. That's all I have right now.
Well, you got one too. I'm saying we got to get the matching on the hill tattoos.
on the hill. Every guest got to get one, man.
That's your parting gift is a tattoo.
Gets told after I'm already on.
Nah, we're kidding.
Well,
Yeah, I think that's it, man. We appreciate you having you on here, and hope you enjoy watching it. Tell your family and friends, man. It's
Well, I was
part
gonna
of
say,
the work.
course, yeah.
Day one supporter right here.
Day one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, the day the first episode came out, he was already texting me that he listened, watched it.
I was in an airport, not feeling the best, and I listened to you guys hit your little. It was like the 10-minute one, right? It was
That was
quick
our
one?
pilot, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, pilot,
the
yeah.
pilot. I remember that, and I was like, "This is it." I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just something we like doing because father and son, but we like to hear people's life stories, man.
Yeah, for sure. You guys have so many connections, both ways. You know what I mean? And you guys are really able to bring people here in the middle and kind of just
That's what it's all about.
talk. Yeah,
We've
absolutely.
had business owners, people with PhDs, and we got just
Yeah, I've always
Someone
loved the message. You know what I mean? You kind of go through your things and you get on the hill and you figure it out and you just keep it moving. I love that.
up the hill and back down the other side. That's what
And
it's
off
about.
the hill.
Well, I don't know why I didn't bring this up. I mean, we talked about this the first episode, but every time we hang out, it's like, what are we doing tonight? And you always ask, if we're going to hang out at so-and-so's house or are we coming to the hill?
Hill.
Rots on the hill.
Yeah, we're coming to the hill,
Yeah,
baby.
we're always going to the hill. I love it.
So let me tell you one more story. So we, I just want to
story.
tell us real quick. I knew it was something I was going to say. So you guys legitimately got engaged, right? So you met young ladies, and you courted them and all this, and then you guys went out and picked out your rings and stuff, and they picked out something they like. That's smart because what if you pick out the wrong ring and they got to wear that shit the rest of their lives? And
Nightmare.
Yep.
so I got a friend of mine. We're trying to get him on here, and he's actually one of the inspirations to the show. So he's been married how many times? Twice now. But anyway, we won't say his name. But a few Christmases ago, he makes the announcement he's dating this girl. We all, and in fact, we all had gone to high school together, so we all had kind of known each other. Even the girl he proposed to allegedly at Christmas. So he's got his whole family over there, right? And he pulls out this ring, and he's like, I won't say her name. He's like, hey, in front of his family, will you marry me? And she's crying, and there's all this kind of shit. And then like his mom's like, welcome to the family, So then they end up breaking up, So then we're on this fishing trip we always used to go on like 3 or 4 months later,
Right.
And this cat's son's like, somehow we're talking about the engagement. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember how we started talking about it, but essentially the lady he proposed to, she bought the ring.
On her credit card.
On her credit card.
Wow.
So, when it came to like her keeping the ring and him not getting it back because he thought he had paid for it, she kept it because she already paid for it.
Right.
It was all a hoax, man.
She's like, yeah, that's actually mine.
So
this is mine.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get him on here, but I'm glad you guys didn't do it that way, man.
No,
They picked it out, but
I've heard like our generation is like more like going into. Does your wife know? Did she see the ring before you proposed to her?
I didn't even have a ring. Couldn't afford it.
Oh, you told me you already said that. Yeah,
we lived on Campbell
you were in the
soup,
bathroom.
man.
Yeah.
We made a meal out of Campbell soup and a loaf of bread, man.
I feel like with our generation, it's,
green beans and tomatoes.
oh my god.
That's just true, bro.
Canned green beans.
Canned green beans, a little bit of butter and salt was my childhood.
Oh, say that again.
Bro, canned green beans, a little bit of butter and salt.
Bingo.
Just blew up the microphone.
We're related, bro.
I know. Got in there.
damn.
Rice in the rice maker.
Bro.
I had it too. A little bit of rice, green beans, tomatoes.
In fact, I loved it so much I choked on it one night. But anyway.
Green beans is still my favorite vegetable. I didn't ruin it somehow. I swear I ate that all as a kid.
I introduced Frankie to canned green beans.
Canned green beans go hard.
That's living, bro.
Way better than who needs fresh green
Who
beans,
needs
dude?
those Trader Joe green beans?
I didn't mean it. Yeah. But anyway, damn. All right. So I guess this is the wrap. Anything else?
No, I just, I'm glad we were able to talk about mental health and kind of hopefully not eliminate that stigma. It's always going to be there. But, three guys kind of talking about mental health and how important it is. I feel like it's huge nowadays.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, look at the camera now. Give my little spiel. Go ahead. If you haven't already, give us a follow and a like on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Give us a listen wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple Music, Spotify. And, of course, video is going to be live on YouTube. Thank you, Marcus, Bianchi, for coming to the Hill. Hope you had a good time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Peace.
Thank you for listening to On the Hill. Like, subscribe, and follow us wherever you listen to your podcasts. See ya.